I guess I have to teach everybody, and that's my lasagna. I'm on a roll. My mic, I'm charging it. A prayer for our soldiers, oath over orders. Anti-Trump protest song against authoritarianism, illegal orders. Guys, and I'm going to eat in a second here. I don't like Trump. I didn't vote for Trump, and I don't vote anymore. I'm 70. I let everybody else do it. The hell with voting. It's the electoral vote anyway. That's how the president gets in. It's the electoral vote. They don't go by the popular vote. They go by the electoral vote. Like I said, guys, we are basically now in another 60s movement. But it is, guys, like I said, I have learned something that I think people have forgotten. Do you not respect those people that are in law that enforce it? I'll tell you something. They're there to do a job, and I'm sorry if you hear something. My buddy gets into playing some wild stuff and speaks in tongues. Let me explain something. Being an American, born and raised here in the country, I remember during the 60s, we talked about the pigs. The pigs. And basically what they're doing is busting us for smoking marijuana illegally, doing drugs illegally, drinking under the age of 18. And back then, it was 18 you could buy beer and wine. But I started thinking about it. These people are hired to enforce the law. ICE, their main job is what? Border and customs. What they're hired to do is to get illegal aliens that are criminals, awful, terrible people. Do I like their approaches? Not really. I mean, seeing them pull a mother screaming and hollering away from her children to take her, that's not good. I mean, it is. I'm not in love with ICE by no means. I'm not in love with them. But I am going to say, and hang on here, I'm going to turn this off. I am going to say that when you're fighting against the law, in Minnesota, that's what you're doing. You're fighting against the law. Now, you can stand behind the Constitution till the cows come home like I was trying. But you have to understand, guys, that if you don't respect the law, I ask you why. If an ICE agent comes up to me, the likelihood is, the reason why the ICE agent is talking to me is that I may know something about an illegal alien. As I said, in Minnesota and Minneapolis, you are madly in love with these people. And I'm happy that you are. But they're not in the United States legally. Also, who taught you how to address the law, officers? Did your mother ever teach you anything when you were a child? Do you not respect law officers at all? So, what I'm trying to say is that I want Minnesota to wake up. I want YouTube to quit your nonsense of the old 60s protest crap, the resistance. we're going to get America back to where it's supposed to be. Can I ask you where America is supposed to be? You know, and this movement in Minnesota, the movement is this. You are in love with your illegal aliens. You love them. You want them in your city. You want crime to be in your city. You want I get really bent out of shape because, like I said, if you just stop for 1 second, back up, and look at this with open eyes, you will see what's going on. What's going on is silliness. Silliness. And everybody's falling into it. And like I said, professional people are in Minnesota right now that know what they're doing to agitate and to get people involved. Renee Good should never have even been there. She's a mother. And as I said, to all mothers out there, if your priority is not your children, I ask you what your problem is. Your children is what you should be responsible for. You don't go and get involved with grown men that are officers of the law. So I'm saying, were you never taught this, Minnesota, Minneapolis? Were you never taught to respect the law? And the reason why you're following ICE is to see where they're going so that you can protect the illegal aliens in your city. So you don't respect the law at all. Period. You don't. Thanks for listening. Peace.